Yeah, I'm okay for now.
Thank you.
See you later on.
21 minutes past 6, you are watching Breakfast. Good morning.
Now, South Sudan is in the grip of a devastating famine with more than 5 million people in desperate need of food. The civil war rages in the world's youngest country. The humanitarian crisis continues to escalate.
It's a place where people now endure a daily struggle with starvation, and as Anna Foster reports, South Sudan's only children's hospital is struggling to cope.
A blown-up tank lies abandoned in a field. Children whose job it is to watch over their families' herds of cows use it as a watchtower. From conflict to crisis. In the capital city, Juba, the country's only children's hospital is struggling with the numbers of malnourished children.
We admit over 200 every day, and now it is quite alarming because there's a famine in the country and the malnutrition cases are rising every day. And it is now overwhelming.
In the north of the country, famine has been officially declared. Aid agencies are still able to supply villages by road at the moment until the rainy season comes later this month. Then this 4-hour drive to get aid deliveries through will be impossible. In the villages, they survive on the bare minimum. This pot of grain will feed a family of 10 for 2 weeks. Guns are never far away in South Sudan. We passed a pickup truck full of young children with rifles. One even carried a rocket-propelled grenade. Wherever you go across Unity State, you'll find villages like this one, deserted and abandoned after an attack. Here, the soldiers pushed the villagers out and took this over as a barracks. But what it means is that all the crops that the villagers might have grown in the field, all the food that they might have preserved and kept for tougher times, is completely wasted. And wherever the people from here end up, if they survive that attack, it means that lack of food is a real problem. In Unity State, the town of Benchi was attacked 3 years ago. 200 people tried to shelter in this mosque and were killed. Now it's a shanty town. Many living here fled to a United Nations camp set up to protect them. Built for 60,000, now more than double that number call it home. UN soldiers patrol to keep the peace. Aid agencies describe this as a man-made famine, a claim disputed by the government. But nobody disputes the scale of the problem.
Well, right now there's fighting continuing. We really do need a ceasefire, a unilateral ceasefire from the government. Without that and without the fighting stopping, then I can't see the situation getting any better. More people will be displaced. There'll be more problems in terms of us being able to reach them, and the number of people who are at risk will increase.
At the maternity hospital in Bentiu, a baby boy is born into a life surrounded by fences and barbed wire. Not to keep him in, but to keep the raging civil war out. Anna Foster, BBC News, South Sudan.
That was Anna Foster in South Sudan, and actually she's going to be presenting Drive on BBC Radio 5 Live from there from 4 o'clock this afternoon.
Yes, just looking ahead to a little later this morning, we'll be having a go, not us exactly, that wouldn't make much sense, in driverless cars, looking at the issue of driverless cars and see what progress has been made. That's coming up a little later on this morning.
You had me there. I thought we'd have one in the studio the way you were selling it. We will be looking at them later. It's 50 years since the Beatles recorded Sgt.